Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today I'm participating in the Last Thing Thrifted collaboration with my friends Dawn from Shabby Meets Bling, Monica from Up All Night DIY, Annie from Crafting with Indiana Jones, Zaina from OK at Home DIY, and Marika from Marika's Creations. So what I'm going to be doing is I have this jar here that I thrifted. This one had some barbecue sauce in it, and this is a vase that I got from the Dollar Tree a few years back. And I'm going to be painting every single one of these with my Waverly Chalk Paint White. And I have these really pretty napkins here that I got from Amazon. I think I got them last year, and I love these bees. So every single thing is going to get a bee on it. I'm just going to decoupage on here and make things look a little different. This is not necessarily going to be a vase. I'm going to maybe make it into a jar with a lid or make it into a chunky candle holder. So I need to peel this off here so I can get everything painted. So DIY number one here is the mason jar. Got it all painted. It took about 3 coats. So now I'm going to decoupage over the mason part. It's on both sides here. And you can kind of see this after I get done, but that's okay. I didn't put, these are 3-ply napkins. I made this one 2-ply. Just because of the raised letters on here. And I'm just using my Mod Podge and smoothing it down with my fingers. Just have to add a little bit more along the edges. And I will take my heat gun to this after I get done. Getting this tacked down just to kind of smooth it out a little bit more. All right, now that it's all dry, I'm going to take my Hippo Gray here. I have a damp piece of paper towel that I'm dipping into the paint, and I want to go around the edges here of the napkin. I did this one more raggedy, and I'm going to do the whole jar here with the paint. And I'm going to wipe off the excess, and I'll probably just have to keep adding more until I get the desired look that I want. Now this project is very quick and easy because it's basically all that I'm going to do to this jar. But I'm going to add some finishing touches to it once it's dry. So I have this little lid here. It came in a pack of 2 from the Dollar Tree I got a few years ago, and it fits on these smaller mason jars. I have these really cute bee charms that I have this little piece of chain that I hooked one to already, and I'm going to hook the other one here. I opened up the link on the end. And I'm just going to slide that on, take my needle nose pliers and twist it and clamp it back. Okay, so I'm going to hang this about right here, just going to hot glue it. And I also want to take some of this jute, if I can get it untangled here, and I'm going to go around this area right here, just probably a couple times. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get this glued on first because I want to kind of cover that up a little bit with jute. Okay, and it's kind of hard to show this because they want to move around. You can tack them down if you want. Now let me get this jute here. And I'm going to start at the back of the jar. And I'm going to wrap it around a couple times. I think I'm going to tack it down here real quick just to make sure. There we go. I cut it off and glue it down. The next thing I want to do is add some of this buffalo check ribbon to the lid. So I cut my piece to size, and I'm just going to tack it right here. Go around just like so. I'm going to tack it in a few spots also. All right, and I'm going to get a button, and I want to cover up the seam in the back. All right, I got my button on there. And I also have more of these little charms. I think I have like 6 different styles. I got it from Amazon a few years back. And I'm just going to hot glue this one on here just to kind of cover that chain a little bit more. And that is all I'm doing to the mason jar. And you can always use this to put some fresh flowers in or some silk flowers. All right, DIY number 2. I am going to be working on that barbecue sauce jar there. Again, just going to be decoupaging this on. I'm going to go ahead and pull the layer off. I want to do it just with the one layer. Okay, and we're going to keep this one straight on the edges. I'm not going to tear the edges on this one. Just make sure I get this all tacked down, and I do like to have a few wrinkles in these so I don't try to smooth them out too much. Again, I'll be using my heat gun just to dry it up. Alright, now that is done, again, going to take the Hippo Gray and do the same technique that I did on the mason jar. Now that that is all done, I'm going to take my Crayola Model Magic foam clay here, and I am going to try to make some honeycomb here. Just going to roll it out really thin, and I'm just going to take some of this bubble wrap from this mailer, and there is the pattern. Isn't that neat? And I want to do a few pieces on here, so I'm just going to take my X-Acto knife and cut this out a little jaggedy. Now I'm going to do my first piece right here on the side. And you know what? It's kind of not, I'm touching it too much and my pattern is starting to go away. So let me roll this out one more time, and I'm going to try to do a harder impression on the bubble wrap. Okay, so let's pull this off here. Press it on here one more time. I'm going to push really hard. I need it to be more defined because when I'm touching it to cut my pieces out, the pattern's going away. So this does look a lot better. So I'm going to go ahead and do 4 pieces and get them cut out. And here they are, and I've kind of shaped it on here. As you can see, I did let this dry overnight. They're still a little pliable, and I'm just going to glue these on with my B7000. Make sure I put lots on there. And I know it's kind of hard with the foam clay here to get it to stick down all the way, but that's okay. I have an idea how to fix the edges of the clay here. So I'm going to go ahead and get the other 3 pieces on and let this dry a few hours before I start painting it. Alright, here it is, and what I did was I just took my glue gun here and I went along all the edges. Looks like I missed a spot here. So you won't see any of the gaps. It's all going to get painted with this mellow yellow color. So I'm probably going to have to do 2 coats of this yellow. I'm just going to go along all the edges, and I'm even covering up the hot glue that I put on there. And I think this color blends in perfectly with the yellow flowers on the napkin. All right, let me get this finished up, and once it's dry, I'm going to be adding a darker yellow to this to bring out all the details. All right, now it's dry. I'm going to take my pigskin here with a dry brush. You can see I tested it right there on that one. Let's go ahead and do this top piece. I'm just lightly brushing it on. Just trying to bring out all the honeycomb details. And I'm going to do it a little bit darker around the edges. All right, let's go ahead and get the other two pieces done. Now that it's all dry, I'm going to be taking some of my jute here, and I'm going to be covering up the top here where all the ridges are, where you would screw the cap on. Just want to cover all that up with some jute. And get it cut off. There we go. And I did go ahead and do one more layer of it. Again, here I'm going to take that buffalo check ribbon, and I'm just going to make a little bow. And I like to make my bow loops a little big like this, and then I pull them down and make them smaller. Cut that off. Let's go ahead and get it hot glued on. Get this glued on. Cut off the ends just a little bit. Make this one a little bit shorter. And I want to go ahead and put a button right here. So I have this little sunflower button that I'm going to cut the back off here. That's where you would sew it on. These are just plastic, so it just cuts real easily. And I'm going to hot glue it right there. I know I don't have a sunflower on the napkin, but this does coordinate with the colors that I'm using. And that is all I'm going to do for this one. I think it is so pretty. Now for DIY number 3, and that is going to be that vase. So, got it all painted. This one's going to get 2. I'm going to do back to back here. And I did tear these to be more of a rounded shape instead of keeping it straight like on the last project. And I did make it just the 1 ply. Looks like I need to tear off a few more. I kind of missed it there. There we go. Again, if there's wrinkles, I like wrinkles, makes it look older. Just want to get all the edges down. And once I get this done, I will be putting the other one on the opposite side. And I didn't show you, but I still I used the hippo gray to go around it, just like the other projects, so they all coordinate. So here are those round wooden plaques. You can get these from Hobby Lobby or Michael's or even online. I am going to be painting both of them black. And I'm probably going to have to do 2 coats of black on here. I will be painting the bottoms also. Alright, so here they are. I have the bottoms painted and the tops with 2 coats. I'm going to take that white paint again and my dry brush, and I'm just going to go around the edges here, bringing out a few details, and I'm going to keep adding more of this white even in the center just to kind of lighten it up a little bit more so it's not too black. So you can use that one as the lid or as the base to the vase. I'm going to add just a little bit more. You can see how it's lightening it up. And I'm going to be gluing the vase on with my B7000, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the top yet. Alright, so I have the base done and I've let it dry a few hours. Again, I'm taking that buffalo check ribbon and we're going to go around the vase up here. Gonna get it hot glued on. Just pulled it tight. There we go. And I do need to cover up the seam, so I'm taking this old button I have with another vintage button that will go right in the middle. Glue these together, and I'm going to glue this right on top of the seam. This is a 2-sided vase right now. So I'm going to keep one side plain and this side with the button. Now, like I said, you could keep it as a vase, just like this. You can use the other one as a lid, as a jar. I mean, the lid's not going to stick very good, but it will stay like so. But I'm going to hot glue it on here. And I can always take it off if I want to, because I'm going to use it more of a chunky candlestick. All right, let's see how all 3 of them look together. Alright, my sweet friends, that's going to do it for the video today. I hope that you enjoyed it, and please be sure to check out everybody's videos. I have the playlist link down below, along with everybody's channel links. I want to wish everybody a very wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.